Did you have fun at the home run derby at Rickwood Field in October?
Yeah, I think that was my second time there. First time participating. I got to, throw a few pitches to Brian Jordan, which is really cool. But Gerald Watkins, head of Friends of Rick Wood, know him well. He helps out our organization, so it's cool to talk with him. He gets real excited about it. So it was fun this year. Luckily, Gerald invited me out there. It's fun to see some old guys who still got it. Hit a few.
Yeah. Well, Brian Jordan didn't have it against you. He didn't hit any out.
Yeah, no hitter, right? Throw a perfect
That,
game.
I mean, that's what you can say. That's what you can
Uh,
say.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a cool day. I was out there this past weekend for the alternative baseball
I
organization.
saw.
They had that. It was cool. Like some of those dudes, like they they could actually play now. Like some of them, like for real, like you could tell they play this game.
Yeah, I talked to the head of that. I think it was his name Taylor or
Taylor,
Tyler
yeah,
Duncan.
Taylor
Yeah,
Duncan, yeah.
yeah. I talked to him because this was the date they changed it to. I was talking to him before and was offering my assistance to him and seemed like a great guy. But this past weekend was my son's birthday, so
Yeah,
uh, other things to attend to. But yeah, it
I
was it
get
was
it.
really, he's what he's doing. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm hoping they can keep that event growing and make it bigger and better every year, and maybe be an annual thing out there because it was the rain got us near the end. They were going to play like 9 innings or 3 hours, whatever came first. And
Yeah.
I don't know what inning they were in, but it was about 2 hours or so into the game, and it just gully washed, and everybody was running for cover. But it was really cool up until then. I mean, you had Tim Hudson was out there, Lance Cormier, who else? Billy Burns that played for the A's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kendall Graveman, he's a current player, but I think he's been rehabbing from some Tommy John.
Yeah, I've
And
met him before.
he's
Trains
a
at a place.
big he's a big
Pelham.
dude.
Yeah, the place he trains at in Pelham does a really good job too. They're named Tinsley Performance, so they're
Okay,
local, so in Birmingham often. So
interesting.
yeah, I think he might live here even because he's always there training. So
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of local guys, and then Johnny Estrada was there, and then Roger McDowell, old Braves pitching coach, was there cracking jokes. Like I was interviewing one of the players and asked him. He said he was a big Braves fan, and he said something like, just getting all these tips on pitching from the Braves, and I was like, what's the best tip you've gotten? And Roger McDowell's kind of off camera, like next to us, and he said, use enough pine tar on your hands.
that's right. Back before they didn't check you after every inning.
Yeah, yeah. So it was cool. That's a cool place. What
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember, Casey. What year did you graduate from Hewitt?
I graduated from Hewitt in 2014.
14. Okay, so I've
Yeah,
got you by 8 years.
yeah. Oh, Huskies.
Yeah. How man? What I want to let's go there before we get it. I want to go down the good old days road. Well, like if you graduated 14, so you were what, a junior on that 2013 team then?
Yeah, right. Malden's first year.
What changed? What was different when he came in?
Just about everything. It was it was a huge shift in mindset of really taking the program and the approach to everyday practice and routine from just it kind of got to a lax environment beforehand and when he came in it was every day we're going to do our best to train to get better, not show up and just practice. It's more, it would be more than that. And it definitely, when he came in, I think he knew a major shift was needed in order to take the program to where it needed to be. And us guinea pigs of his first few years, I think took a big one of that. And I'm sure Malton knows that because yeah, I mean, he shifted all of our mindsets, and you know, we're all on board with it because we saw where we were heading after a few months of training and practice. We can see ourselves getting better as a team, and it did. We all bought into it and took us to a state championship.
Yeah, yeah, that was a crazy year. So that next
Mm-hmm.
year, where did you end up? You ended up. I know you ended up uh, college baseball. Where was it? Was it Faulkner?
That's yeah. I went to Faulkner at first, and then transferred to Shelton State.
That's right. So did you? What position were you? I'm trying to remember.
I was a catcher.
Catcher. Okay.
Yeah.
What was college baseball like?
Not what I had hoped it to be, but part of that was on me. You know, what took me in high school, I was not your all-star player, but I was one that put in work and took pride in that.
That's right.
I was one who I got cut from every school tryout from seventh grade up until my sophomore year of high school. But
Wow.
I love baseball so much. I just I could imagine stopping playing, so I just kept trying out and kept trying out. And my sophomore year, of course, was before Malton came. So of course, when I made that sophomore team, it was a big deal for me personally because that's just something I've been working so hard for. And then actually, there was a fall trial when Malton came, and he actually cut me from that team. So
Yeah.
he cut the ball, and then but he took me and another player and said, "Listen, you guys were close. If you guys train hard over in this fall period, we'll have another trial in the spring or like early or late fall. If we see improvement, we'll have you guys on the team." And lo and behold, we tried out and made that team after that. So a lot of what
Wow.
got me to that point, I still kind of hold today.
Yeah. A lot of hard work and dedication. That's awesome. I
Yeah,
didn't realize that. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. So
Man.
I wasn't gifted with a lot of ability, but I worked pretty hard to get what I had. So
Yeah. What'd you do after college? What did you get into?
after my playing days were at Shelton, I just transferred to Alabama and got a degree in operations management. And right out of college, I got a job actually as a supply chain manager at a hospital in Alabaster, Shelby Baptist Medical Center, which was a great job out of college. Right out of college, I was
Yeah.
managing actually a team of 10 people, which, sounds great, looks great on a resume. And that's all that was in my head. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's great. I can't turn that down. But I got into it, and in humbly, I was pretty good at it, but it was not who I was. In that job, you're kind of just in the trenches. It's not a whole lot of people facing. It's getting the hospital what they need, and not much further than that at a high level. And of course, I went actually through the COVID year with that too, which was a journey inside of a hospital. But after a while, it's like, man, this is not what I'm passionate about. This is not putting my talents to good use. And luckily, I actually came across a posting for foundation I'm with now, American Baseball Foundation. I was like, you know, I know my current job doesn't show what doesn't really line up with this, but just give me a chance, give me a call, let me talk to you about it. We can make something work. And I talked with David Osinski, who's the former executive director, and I chatted about it. I said, listen, passionate about baseball, passionate about helping kids. Still, even on the side, I was doing some baseball stuff with kids. I was like, listen, just give me a shot. And luckily he did.
Wow. So what year would that have been, like what, 2021 or so that you started there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I started in 2021. Began kind of interviewing with him and other board members the early part of 2021, and then started in May.
Okay. What all were you kind of doing in your early days with them? Like what were you responsible for?
Yeah, so when I came on, I was the program director. So May is actually a super time for us because that we get ready for our summer programming, and so that's when we're out, recruiting kids to come to the summer program, prepping for it, all that good stuff. So I was kind of in charge of the groundworks of getting the program ready, and then even when our program began in June, it was making sure the day to day runs smoothly.
Okay. So what all does the American Baseball Foundation? What all do y'all do? Like what's the mission?
Yeah. So, high level, our mission is to educate at risk youth through sports and sports based academics. So, that summer program I'm talking about, the goal of it actually is to improve reading and math skills, but through sports. So, it's a very unique approach. We format it to where kids will be split into six different groups, rising first graders through eighth graders. So, they kind of group by age, and then we have three academic stations and three sports stations. So those sports will be baseball, soccer, and volleyball. So this is boys and girls, and they actually rotate every 45 minutes from a academic station. So that could be reading, math, or we have some STEM stuff we do, to an outside sport. So they're only inside for 45 minutes at a time. And so that's kind of the whole idea is, you know, when in the traditional school environment, kids are inside, hours at a time. And for those young kids, after an hour, I mean, they're in some other world. So you know, we've learned that we tell them, hey, listen, 45 minutes, you're about to go outside and play some baseball. We can focus for 45 minutes. And so kind of taking that approach has, done well for us.
Yeah. That's very cool. Like, are y'all working with? So it's a summer. Is it mostly a summertime thing? Or are you like kind of working with like
That,
specific schools? How does that kind of work?
yeah. So our biggest impact project probably comes from our summer program. Um, During the school, and we recruit kids from all over. So we last summer had kids from over 50 different schools because we
Wow.
had two different camps running, one at John Carroll High School and one at Indian Springs First Baptist Church. And so we just recruit kids from all over. So we get, a number of kids. And then during the school year, a lot of our work comes in after school. So we have a partnership with a company called Better Basics, and we're a vendor for. We're in Fairfield City Schools, so I go out there and have some people that will go out there and just teach kind of the basics of baseball to them, and we'll also do some other type of academic games with them.
Wow. That's really cool. When did you become executive director?
So last summer, in May, our former executive director he got sick, David Osinski, and he passed in June, and then in July, it was a big deal because David he built this organization. It was
Yeah.
founded 30 years ago now. He put his heart and
Wow.
soul. Definitely left a legacy, and so it was a big conversation of where is this organization going to go next, and so we had that conversation in July, and the board you know made me executive director, and said we're really going to make a push to take our organization to the next level.
Wow. Have you been pretty much off and running since then, just to kind of fill those shoes and kind of live up to that legacy and that kind of thing?
Yeah, no doubt, and because that's definitely what he did is he's built some strong relationships in this community, and
Yeah.
they've known David for a long time, and that's the thing with a lot of our supporters. They have been supporting us for years. We have a few that have been decades of support for us. So to this past year has been kind of nurturing those relationships that have been built, and starting to create some new ones to kind of take this organization to where he has always wanted to push it.
Yeah. Where do y'all like for you? What are the priorities like? I guess goals, priorities. Where do you want to take this foundation?
Yeah, I think my first priority has been increasing our community awareness because I think that's been our struggle point is what we're doing has been successful and it works, and those that know us, like I was just saying, continue to
Yeah.
support us. Our struggle has been getting others and new support people to come in and people just to know the name. So David, his groundwork was building the program, but not a whole lot of work went into spreading the message and the vision of what we do. So that's kind of been what our focus. The foundation of the program's been built, and we're refining that. But now the real work has been put into increasing our community awareness and getting more people just to know about who we are and our story and just what we're doing. Not even asking new people for money. It's just who we are and what we're doing, and might tell a friend about it. That's kind of where my focus has been about, just meeting new people, tell them about it. You don't have to give me money. Just tell a friend we're doing some awesome stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Grassroots kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
And so y'all's next. I know one of y'all's big events. Maybe it's your biggest event. Tell me about. I know it's coming up in January, but the ABF Leadoff Dinner. Is that right?
Right, it'll be our 24th, and Goose Gossage, former Yankee pitcher, Hall of Famer, he's going to be our kind of keynote speaker. And we do that every January, February. It's kind of our starting the year off, our big fundraiser that we invite people to. It's super fun, and we've had a number of guests over the years. James Spann's our MC, and he does a phenomenal job. Some people even say they come for James. He's a
I believe.
legend.
I
But yeah,
believe it.
it's a cool thing for a baseball fan or even just a sports fan to come and enjoy an event, but also know that they're giving back to a community doing some good work. I mean, we have a silent auction that Joe Watkins actually heads up. We get all kinds of sports memorabilia for that, from Alabama football, Yankees, Auburn football. I mean, you name it, it's probably got it. So it's pretty cool. I mean, people come in, meet Goose, shake his hand, take a picture with him. It's a pretty cool thing.
Where and you said January 24th. Where is it being held this year?
January 21st, actually. It's on
21st.
a Tuesday. Yeah, it's held at the club.
Okay. How do people like? Is it something like people can they find tickets online or what? How does if someone wants to go? How do they do that?
Yeah, we've kind of started putting out our save the date type stuff, and whether it be through their business doing sponsorships, buying a table, that's one way, or individuals can come and buy individual tickets, in which we'll be putting those on sale within the next week or so. And obviously, we're going to push out those details too. But you said it's a super fun thing. Come and enjoy a night, hear all the stories Goose has to tell, and I'm sure there's some good ones.
Are you over the next 2 months? Are you going to try to get your stash looking like Goose? You got time to get it growing out a little bit?
Man, I don't know if I can get to that level.
I don't know that any of us can. Goose rocked quite a little handlebar
Yeah,
looking deal, man.
yeah,
So
that was
funny.
a signature look, and that's the thing. So younger guys like myself may not remember the name, but they'll see him and like, wait, I know who that is, because it's just that signature look.
Yeah. I can't imagine the stories he's going to tell January 21st. And I don't know. He seems like the type that would be really, really good at this kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard. I've heard from others who've had him at events and said, he's a great speaker, and our rep with the MLB PA said the same things. Like, listen, he's gonna make it a good night for you guys. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm looking at AmericanBaseballFoundation.com is
mhm.
where all of this stuff will be. I see there's a tab at the very top for the ABF leadoff event. Y'all have got a bunch, about the foundation, programs, history, support, how
Yeah,
it works, what y'all have done, testimonial type stuff, how to become an affiliate, everything everything's there in one spot.
Yeah, and a lot of the good content and pictures of our recent works also on our social medias, our Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. That's a kind of cool place to go to see, some of the day to day stuff that happened during the summer, which is cool to see more of the kids. Our website's going to have some work done to it soon and make that even better. But yeah, we've kind of speaking back to, you mentioned the affiliates. Yeah, what's cool about our program. So the name of it actually is BASIC, which is Baseball and Academic Skills Instructional Course. And so it's actually a proprietary curriculum of ours written specifically for us. And we've had partners who we go train their staff and they can run it as their own. So like in 2021, the Kansas City Royals Urban Youth Academy, they actually implemented BASIC into their summer programming. So
Wow.
that's kind of a neat thing that we've done and have done in the past with other organizations. I think Huntsville City Schools have ran it. I think that was back in 2019. But that's kind of saying we've trained other programs to do it, and they've had success too.
Man, this would have been this. I mean, you said it's been around, 30 years or whatever. This would have been cool for us back in the summers when we were little kids running around Trustful.
And that's what I said. I wish I knew about it, because me personally, what I remember as summer reading was we were assigned books and
Yeah.
had to answer every page, and it was books we weren't interested in, and so it honestly hurt my interest in reading. But when they say you can choose your book, and it was obviously I chose one about baseball. I mean, I read it. I chose to read it that time when it was a book that was kind of forced my hand. It was procrastination and
Yep.
finding, little short notes on it on the internet. But
Oh.
yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like all of our, even the academic curriculum in the classroom, a lot of it is sports based too. So a lot of the books they read can be about Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, all kinds of stuff like that. So these are actually interesting things to read for these kids.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, you've got to meet people where they are, and like I've done some of these with some people who are been coaches, but they've been more on like academic sides of things, especially on the English sides of things. And I understand there's a curriculum that's set, but the one that I always go back to, like now, if you're going to sit there and let me read, books about Willie Mays and let me read Big Fella about Babe Ruth and stuff like that, yeah, I'd be all in. But the example I always used was John Steinbeck, because all of us had to read
Mhm.
Grapes of Wrath. And while while interesting, it's not my favorite. And when I discovered, not I mean just a few years ago, so this is well after even college for me, I discovered his book Travels with Charlie, which was his like
Mhm.
he went around the United States, took his dog Charlie, and just like talked to people about what America was to them and what life was like for them. And it's such like a simple kind of travel log type book. I was like, this would have been perfect for like our age group then. Instead, you've got us dissecting
Yeah.
the Grapes of Wrath. You've got us reading Shakespeare aloud, and I I cannot stand reading Shakespeare. I hate it so much. And I probably shouldn't say that as a words person, but I cannot stand reading that stuff. And like I said, I
Yeah.
understand there's a curriculum, but like something like that would have met me where I was and would have like kind of like you said, it would have only enhanced my want to read and pick up another book, and you know what I mean?
Right. And you have to look at, okay, what's the goal of summer reading? Is it for them to learn about what happened in Charlotte's Web, or is it for them to continue to practice reading and get better at reading? What's the goal
Yeah.
here? And I it comes down to improving reading. So if you tell them they get to choose what to read, I think it only makes sense that they're more likely to do it and actually enjoy it. So, and that's our approach is try to make this as most fun as possible. Even in the classrooms, we got different academic games that they're doing. So, and you can even look at it. We talked about at a basic level of just focusing for 45 minutes, and that's it. You could go outside and play, but there's even studies comparing kids who partake in physical activity and then in the classroom how they retain things better, their focus and attention's better, and versus kids who just sit all day long and don't partake in any physical activity. That's been studied, and so you can go to that level and show this is why it works. One, yes, the kids are understanding they get to have fun, but there's science behind it of why they're gonna focus better, remember things better, and do better when it comes to scoring these kids.
Yeah, like I'm a big so I'm a huge fan of Henry David Thoreau. Anybody who really knows me knows how much I enjoy reading his stuff. And I tried to Google it over here, but I won't get the full context. But basically, one of his like little entries in his journal that he kept for decades. Really, he was writing in it every day. He just basically said, "I think that the moment my legs begin to move, my thoughts begin to flow." And it was so much
Mm-hmm.
about like just kind of that, maybe not just reading, but just creativity in general, interest in a certain topic in general, ability to open your mind and learn. It was, if I have some sort of physical activity, if I am moving, if I am outdoors, I am more receptive to learning things, and I think maybe that's why we see a lot of these like outdoor classroom type spaces now. Hewitt Trustful High School, where we went. I went to what's now the middle school. That was my high school, but behind your high school, they've got that outdoor classroom now that's right along the Cahaba River, and they'll take classes out there to study or do biology type stuff, take English classes out there, let them write papers or poetry or whatever. And I've seen it at some other schools around town too, where there's even an elementary school that I've seen that has like little. They're not real bicycles in the traditional sense. I don't know exactly what they are, but they have them inside for moments like that where you break up that classroom monotony in a way, and they let the kids ride in the hallway a little bit, and kind of get out some of that energy, and then be like, okay, you've got this to look forward to. Now we're going to refocus, and it just breaks it up and keeps them active and that kind of thing.
Right, 100% breaks up the monotony, gets the blood flowing again, puts them back into focus. All right, you got some energy out. Yeah, I mean that's what it's about, and just learn to have some fun with it. I could say I promise you're gonna get more out of it if you have those type of breaks versus you know 2 hours into it trying to bang on the decks, tell them to wake up and focus. I think you can do much
Yep.
better and kind of get it out themselves.
Absolutely. So what are the next things for American Baseball Foundation? Like, is I guess everything right now is moving towards that leadoff dinner. What are some other things y'all got going on? What's next on your plate?
Yeah, so that's obviously kind of what we're leading up to now is getting everything in place for the dinner. Inviting our people came last year back, inviting some new faces in there, and then after that, it's just we've got some exciting stuff planned for what's really going to take our organization to the next level. Some stuff we've been working on for a while now, and we've for years have talked about growth and what that looks like for us, and I think we've really actually put that to work now, and so that's something that's coming, and I'm super excited about.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Casey, and catching up and enlightening some folks about this. So, folks who want to know about it, just AmericanBaseballFoundation.com. Go there.
Yeah,
That's everything you need to know is there. What, Facebook, Instagram, all the things?
yeah. Facebook and Instagram definitely is something I keep up to date the most. So search American Baseball Foundation there as well. And if you're on LinkedIn, you can find me and the foundation there as well. I like to post on there a few times too. But yeah, I mean, anywhere you want to find more about us, that's where you go. And we'll be putting out stuff here soon too.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you, Casey. We'll do this again sometime soon down the road and check in and see how things are going.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. And I'll have more to report then.
There you go. All right. Well, I appreciate you. Have a good
I
one.
appreciate you, Gary.